14 and a half minutes to 9 o'clock, and we do something special on a Wednesday. It's called AgroBuzz, and today we're looking at the cultivation of watermelon, which is predominant in key farming districts in Manchester and St. Elizabeth. From 2020, though, we've been affected by a strange crop disorder that affects the quality and health of the fruits. So we got on the phone to explain the issue and tell us what's being done by the ministry. The Principal Director of Technical Services at the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, and that's Dr. Lisa Myers-Morgan. Good morning, Dr. Morgan. How you do?
Good morning, Paula Anna, and your listeners. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Welcome to AgroBuzz. Now, this is a little scary. We love watermelon, and we know the benefits to the economy from the product. So what's going on? What's this disorder?
Well, in 2020, the farmers in St. Elizabeth in the Pedro Plains area had reported that they were getting rejections of their fruit once they were actually harvested and sold to their buyers. The fruits were looking perfect on the outside. There was no indication of anything being wrong. They had, nice weight, size, and everything. However, when the buyers got them and cut them open, they were realizing that there was something obviously very wrong on the inside of the fruit, where they were seeing, water soaking up the fruit. They were seeing, that it didn't have a good storage life. So it really impacted on the farmers' earnings because of that issue at that time. And the ministry and its technical team were called in to follow up to find out what exactly was contributing to this problem, because, our farmers have been growing watermelon for years, and they have never had this particular issue before. What could have changed? So we first looked at whether or not there was any disease-causing agents that were affecting them at the pre-harvest, meaning, during the growing season, was there anything in the fruit that could be detected? So we did several tests at the Borders Research Station to find out if there was any disease associated with this condition. And nothing, no pathogens, nothing was recovered from any samples that were taken. And again, we had to say, what other factors could be involved in this? So we also had our Agricultural Land Management Division assessing the quality of the soil to see exactly what was happening in there. And based on those results, we were finding that, there were some instances of high levels of certain types of elements or nutrients in the soil, even at harvest. And, we realized also that a questionnaire, a survey was also done to find out from the farmers themselves, was there a change in their production practice? Was there anything new that they were doing that may have been impacting on this problem? And based on the surveys, there was a correlation between those farmers that were in an irrigated scheme where they had access now to water, because, St. Elizabeth in particular, in that area, it primarily has been like rain-fed, or they have to buy and truck water. And they use their drip irrigation system and everything, and drip lines, but now they now have access to more water. And during that said period also, there was usually a dry season as well, so they were actually putting on a lot more water. So looking at these other factors, we're saying that we have ruled out that it's a disease problem. And I recall that at the very beginning, the farmers thought it was a seed issue, but that too was proven not to have been implicated in this particular disorder. So we were looking now at the production practices. And subsequent to that, by 2021, we were getting reports from Duff House New Forest in the agro part there that there were similar issues there on watermelon. And again, doing the same investigations, realizing that we are again ruling out pathogens or disease-causing agents, and again looking at the practices to see whether or not what had really changed for the farmers, because they would have been accustomed to growing this crop for years and would never have had this problem. And watermelon is one of those crops where you will find from time to time in other jurisdictions that you may have these unknown disorders that may arise, and scientists are still trying to find out exactly what are the contributing factors to them. We are very familiar with the diseases or the disease-causing agents that can affect watermelon in Jamaica, and we were not recovering any of these. So as a result of where we are and based on what the farmers have told us, we are at the stage now where we are implementing, right? We had a farmers engagement seminar, if you want to put it that, or meeting on, I think on January 27th, to now engage those farmers in what we call establishing demonstration plots and satellite plots, right? Where we would now have these topics looking at nutrient requirements for watermelon. How do you determine the nutrient requirement for watermelon during the growing season? How do we determine the water requirements of the watermelon during the growing season? So we are now developing the protocols to now bring this information and the technologies, because there are certain tools that they will need to know about that would assist them in determining how much water and how much nutrients. And the variety that was primarily affected was the Crimson King, which they have been growing for a long time. Farmers, however, have indicated that they're realizing also that the fruits seem to be maturing earlier or starting to bear earlier, which could have implications for changes in the environment, climate change, impact of climate change in that area. So we have to also measure, those variables as it relates to environment during the course of this study with a demonstration plot.
Dr. Morgan, this is just such... I love the way that you have comprehensively explained what it is, what you saw, what the study was, the key findings, and also the support that's being offered to the farmers. And we now have a practical picture of just how much RADA is assisting in this process. And if there's somebody who is farming watermelons and has this as a concern, what do they do? How do they find out more? How do they contact you as we wrap up?
Well, they can reach out to our technical services unit at at head office. Our head offices are on the same premises as the Ministry of Agriculture. But I wanted to say that this is a joint effort. It's not just RADA. As I mentioned, the Ministry of Agriculture, our input suppliers are part of this process too. So what we're having is partnerships between all stakeholders to assist our farmers. So they can reach out to us and contact us. They can contact the St. Elizabeth Parish office in particular, where this particular study is being done in the first instance. And based on the outcome of this, then it will be scaled up and rolled out to Manchester and the other affected areas.
Thank you.
So that's basically what I'd like to share with you all.
No problem. Thank you so much. Dr. Lisa Myers-Morgan, Principal Director, Technical Services at the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. Over 16,000 tons of watermelons were produced in 2019. It's in high demand on the local market and feeds heavily into the tourism sector. So continue supporting our local watermelon farmers as they contribute to Jamaica's food security. Follow the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries on Facebook at Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Check them out on Twitter, at Instagram at MOAFJM, and of course keep on listening on Wednesdays for AgroBuzz as we explore and explain and support our agriculture sector. We're almost out of here. I think I can squeeze a little bit in from Mortimer. I just might be able to. I think I can squeeze in a bye-bye from Francois. What you saying, Sir Saint-Just?
Hey, love me some watermelon. And wherever the watermelon is good, I'll be there.